New information about two men shot and killed near a local estate. The search is happening now to find their accused murderer and this woman, who police want to speak with.
Moving Fayetteville Street forward, how things are about to change for this corridor, and a new parking program to attract more people downtown.
Straight from Canada to our neck of the woods, the coldest air of the season is on the way. When and where we'll see temperatures in the 30s and our first frost advisory.
Right now at 7, an urgent manhunt is underway to find this man behind us, 42-year-old Desmond Moore. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. He's wanted in a deadly double shooting that happened in Cumberland County. He's facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. The victims in this shooting were just identified this afternoon. One of them, a father of 5, the other just 21 years old.
WRAL's Aaron Thomas is live outside the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. Aaron, the manhunt is on, but people living nearby are not in any danger. Is that right?
That is correct. We actually just got that word from Sheriff Ennis Wright of Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, but they definitely still want to hear from this man for questioning as it relates to this double shooting. Taking another look at your screen here, this is the man that authorities want to find. It's Desmond Moore. He's 42 years old. Of Cumberland County. Investigators say that he is wanted for shooting 2 workers outside of a large home on Yarborough Road, but it's unclear why. His connection to those 2 people who died, it's unclear at this time. Those 2 victims were identified as 21-year-old Arthur Acosta and 32-year-old Taylor Duggins, a father to 5 children. Additionally, deputies released pictures of an unidentified female. It's unclear how and if she's connected, but she's also wanted for questioning. Take a listen to these 911 calls made by the owner of a business those 2 victims worked for.
I'm here at a customer's house cleaning, and I was at the house waiting for my workers to get here. About 20 minutes ago, I heard gunfire. Didn't think nothing of it, and my guys were late. So I walked up to the gate to see where they were, and they're lying up there. I believe they're dead, but my windows are all shot out on the truck.
Now, a motive behind this shooting is still underway. Just throughout this evening, I have been reaching out to the families of both these victims. We're still waiting to hear back to see how both of them are being remembered at this time. Aaron Thomas, WRAL News, live in Fayetteville.
This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. All new, we're getting some details about a shooting that happened earlier this evening in Durham. Just about 4:45, Durham police responded to a report of gunshots at Ellis Road, not too far from Sunset Peak Way. We know that a man went to the hospital with injuries that officers say appear to be non-life-threatening. That investigation continues. If you have any information, call Durham Police.
Lots of development in the downtown area. How does free parking in downtown Raleigh sound? Not bad, right? The city just approved a pilot program to make these 5 parking garages right here free for the first 2 hours. So, okay, it's not 100% free, but it's something. Raleigh leaders are hoping that little things like this will make a big difference because they've got some big plans in the works. WRAL's Sean Gallagher shows us what's up with downtown.
A buzz is coming back to downtown and can maybe be heard loudest here on Fayetteville Street, with new things popping up seemingly every day, all part of the 5-year plan to restore the corridor. By Thanksgiving, 5 new restaurants will be open on Fayetteville Street, marking 11 new businesses here this year, sowing seeds for success in Oak City.
So we're seeing tremendous progress on Fayetteville Street. We're really happy with where we were compared to a year ago.
Downtown Raleigh Alliance President Bill King says it's about embracing the changing dynamics of the area. While downtown office vacancies are lower than the national average, there's still less daily foot traffic. Something hot dog vendor Kelly Colvin sees on chilly afternoons like this.
When you come downtown Raleigh, there's either a restaurant or a lawyer's office. Nothing's wrong with either, but, you know, to bring more foot traffic, more flagship stores and more small businesses to come and open up as well.
One strategy is about making parking more accessible. It's why the city voted to make parking at these 5 garages free for the first 2 hours. But there's an ill-fated history of progress on Fayetteville Street. It was home to a pedestrian mall for about 30 years that failed miserably. What makes this plan for Fayetteville Street one that people should feel good about rather than a previous one that was a failure?
Because it's focused on making Fayetteville Street live and breathe every day, not just for specific days.
Because people like Kelly are out here every day.
We just need more out here, but I do love Raleigh.
The 2-hour free parking program will start in mid-November and run until January, when the City Council will look over the results. If you're interested in finding out where these parking garages are, you can find it on our website. Just go to the Don't Miss It section to see where they are. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News in downtown Raleigh.
Jeez, testing the zoom on that camera. Good stuff, Sean. So look, we talk about the growth down there a lot. You hear all the talk of projected influx of the entertainment and restaurants, and you might think, wait a second, I've been downtown. Restaurants close down there all the time, and it's true. In fact, this year, Gonzo Tacos, Union Special Bread, Clouds Brewing, Oak City Meatball Kitchen, BB's Crispy Chicken, Plates Neighborhood Kitchen, Cousins Maine Lobster, Capitol Club 16, all of those locations shut down in downtown Raleigh. Some moved locations or switched to food trucks or just shut down entirely. That doesn't exactly sound like an influx. See, the truth is, and you may know this, dining, that industry, it has a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Trade publication Nation's Restaurant News put it this way: the restaurant business has always been fickle, and in these past few years, the industry has seen its fair share of headlines ranging from record high inflation to store opening acceleration. Let's unpack that for just a minute. The survey for Touch Bistro found that 58% of restaurants said food costs were their primary concern. Another word for that would be inflation. Cost of ingredients go up, that forces menu prices to go up, and I'm sure you've noticed that when you go out to eat. But things are improving. The same survey found that the fewer restaurants are short-staffed right now. Going back to 2022, it was at 97% of restaurants. Now it's 82% in 2023 and getting better every year. And consider this, a report from the National Restaurant Association found restaurant openings are going up. They went up 6% between April of 2023 and May of this year. We've seen all of this in downtown Raleigh: Birdie's Bar Room and Kitchen, Flower and Barrel, Giorgio's Epicurean Market, La Teresa, and more, all opening up last year alone. And it's not just restaurants. We're seeing this in the early stages in the shift from office space to residential and entertainment spaces. Red Hat Amphitheater, we've talked a lot about that, relocating and expanding in downtown. There's planned for a 37-story tower on Glenwood South. It'll have apartments and retail space, also 2 restaurants that have already signed up to be tenants there. A developer is bringing housing to more square. Some of those will be affordable units, others are going to be more high-end. So think of it this way: Raleigh's stock is going up. Like any stock that's on the rise, it's not always rising. Even Apple will take a hit. Their stock dropped 1% just today. But if you look at Apple over the past 5 years, they're up 292%. Downtown Raleigh, it goes up and down. But if the last 5 years are any indication, the city's stock as a whole is on the rise.
Yep. Hey, we are getting even colder tonight and tomorrow night. Kat, even a chance of frost overnight.
Yes, we've got a lot to talk about. A very active forecast. We've got air moving in straight from Canada all the way to North Carolina. With that change, a few sprinkles tonight as the upper level energy moves through. Best chance through 9 o'clock. After that, rain chances start to taper off tonight. It's 54 out there right now, just a couple of sprinkles in our northern counties. These should gradually fizzle out as they head south. Not much to see on the dual Doppler 5000 radar, though. Check out the numbers for tonight: 40 in Raleigh, 41 in Fayetteville, 27 in Boone, 30 in Asheville. The mountains are looking at a freeze warning tonight. For us, it is a frost advisory, and this doesn't include Wake County. It does include Durham, though. Siler City, Sanford included, the Sandhills, up into Roxborough as well. This will be from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. So protect your pets and your plants. A little bit of good news here: the chance for this system developing continues to go down in the tropics. And I'll have a closer look at what should help to keep it away from North Carolina, even if it were to develop, coming up.
Okay, Kat. The former Greensboro adult video store clerk sued by Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson wants the case thrown out. Robinson filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against Louis Money and CNN. Robinson says they spread lies about his alleged porn habits. Money stands by his claim that he used to sell videos to Robinson.
We weren't like best friends. Like, I went to his house one time for him to pay me money for bootleg porn. I went to his job once or twice. Every other time he came to my job.
Says that is false, and he never bought any videos from Money. CNN declined to comment on the lawsuit. Robinson's lawyers did not respond to a request for comment on Monday's filing.
Don't miss Meet the Press this Sunday morning. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Lauren Leslie will be a panelist on the show talking about the presidential race and the other big North Carolina elections. It's going to be nice to see her on there. Very few people know it as well as she does, and that is this Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on WRAL.
App State students returned to the classroom today after Hurricane Helene devastated the North Carolina mountains. Here are some of those students sitting at their desks. Everything looks normal, but for many of them, normal is gone.
Up next, App State student body president shares how the university is helping students, some of whom lost everything.
I've got to show you this video. This is what students at Appalachian State University were dealing with less than 3 weeks ago. You see soaked mattresses over here, waterlogged furniture. It's all ditched to the curb because of Hurricane Helene. This is where upperclassmen and grad students live. Tonight, school at App State is back in session, but for many students, it's far from a return to normal. I spoke with App State's student body president about how they're doing. Joining me now is Catherine Long. She's the student body president at Appalachian State University, a communication and sciences and disorders major scheduled to graduate next year. Catherine, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Ashley, for the opportunity to be here.
App State students went back to class today. What was the vibe like on campus after Helene devastated so much of Western North Carolina?
Yeah, I definitely think, there's a ton of different perspectives out there and opinions, personally for my own, to be back on campus and to see my friends and professors that I haven't seen in 3 weeks and to be able to know they're okay has been really, it's hard to put into words what that's been like, to be able to hug your friends after 3 weeks and knowing that we all went through something pretty devastating, but to be able to see each other today has been really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to be back together, to be able to share some stories as well. That damage and all of the flooding that we saw in and around App State, I mean, it was shocking. When you saw some of this, either in person or through images, how did you respond? What was the response like?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to come out after the storm on Saturday, so right after the hurricane had hit. And I think walking on campus and to see a place that you love be destroyed in the way that it was, I think you feel a little bit helpless, especially because there wasn't really much we could do about it, and just look at it and then assess later. And then luckily we've been volunteering and helping out and cleaning up. I think it's been difficult, to say the least, but I'm feeling, every day I wake up a little bit more grateful to be in this position and to be a student here at App. And I think that gratefulness has just been exemplified through this whole disaster.
Are some students, have they lost everything at home and now they're trying to come back to school? Or what are you hearing?
Yeah, I think when we see people in the disaster relief hub, it's anything from, hey, I lost my refrigerator and I just need, $50 to $100, or hey, I've talked to a few students who they asked me, they said, how do I put my address down if I don't have a home anymore? And that's just been a difficult conversation to navigate. So that's been pretty difficult, but I think there's some students who have lost everything. There's some students, who only lost a refrigerator full of food. And I think App State's doing everything that they can to give them some funding. And then, for the bigger disasters like whole homes, we're directing those people to FEMA and Red Cross.
You mentioned volunteering. That's amazing that you kind of jumped in to help. Can you expand on that?
Yes. So we actually have a disaster relief hub here on campus that I've been volunteering at for the past 4 days. That's been really, really insightful into people's experiences. I've been able to talk with students, faculty, and staff, and we're able to give them funding based off that App State Disaster Relief Fund. And I basically take them through the process and are able to help them fill out the form of what damages that they've experienced, any wages that they've lost, especially our student employees, any expenses that they're worried about covering over the next couple of weeks. And then I'm able to get them in contact with people who can help them for funding. It's been difficult to be hurting through a travesty, but then to have to help other hurting people has been difficult. But I'm grateful, we have counselors here that have stepped up and supported me, and also all of our students, faculty, and staff who have come through. Today, just for instance, we've served over 700 students, faculty, and staff. The past week, we were serving around 230 to 300. So having students back on campus has definitely increased the amount of resources that we're able to help them with.
Wow, you're all going through a whole lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Both literally and figuratively. So take care of yourself. Thank you for taking care of others. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You really got to think what impressive people have really shown themselves during the tragedies that have happened from these weather systems. And we have been keeping an eye on the tropics because we're done. We don't want any more. So it has been nice to see this one kind of weaken as it's getting closer and closer.
Day by day, the chance for it developing going down each day this week. And that's what we want to hear. I know there's a lot of anxiety given the past couple of hurricanes that we've seen, both here locally and in the U.S. in general. And the chance of this developing went down to about 40% today. So it's centered right around here right now, but it is going to be headed for the Caribbean over the weekend. Here's the thing. It's going to run into a lot of wind shear here, and wind shear sometimes helps to kind of tear these systems apart. I would say if you are traveling to the Dominican Republic, you're going to still want to watch this system over the weekend, really anywhere in the Caribbean. But I like the trends I'm seeing. This one, not too worried about still, just a 20% chance it will develop. As for us here locally, we've got a big area of high pressure that should steer the system well south and west of us. So even if it were to hold together, it would stay well south of us and potentially south of the U.S. in general. Outside today, it's been cooler, and in the mountains, it was cold enough for snow to stick around on the ground from last night for much of the day. We saw a lot of that melt in the sunshine, but still a little bit of snow on the ground there in Sugar Mountain. That's a live camera that you saw just there. A frost advisory is in effect for part of our area tonight. This includes Roxborough, of course, Durham, Chapel Hill, as well as Siler City, down into Sanford, Southern Pines, points west toward the Triad. Lows will be between 34 and 37 tonight. Patchy frost possible. Tomorrow night may bring a better opportunity for frost, though, as we have the potential for the winds to really die down. Now, a couple sprinkles possible tonight. That's why we've got the raindrop icon. Don't worry, we're not going to see the moisture and the cold air overlap. 38 in Roxborough tonight, 35 in Roxborough, 38 in Rocky Mount, 38 in Smithfield, 40 in Raleigh, as well as Fayetteville. It's going to be chilly out there, but the rain ends, then the clouds clear and temperatures dip into the 30s. We're seeing the clouds push in from Virginia tonight. Overnight, those will clear out, so I think you'll wake up to sunshine by daybreak. 9 o'clock, a couple sprinkles still from the Triangle North. I think they'll fizzle out pretty much as soon as they get south toward Johnston County, and then by daybreak tomorrow, we'll wake up to sunshine. It ends up being a beautiful but chilly day. At the bus stop, 41, full sunshine, 62 tomorrow afternoon. It's dry throughout the day, beautiful for the North Carolina State Fair. And check out our WRAL Weather Watch Your photo today. This one is from Rupert Hester at Holt Lake. Just beautiful with the clouds last night. The sunset was a really nice one. For tomorrow, the State Fair starts at noon. It's just going to be picture perfect out there. Upper 50s at noon, low 60s during the afternoon. Bring a jacket with you, though. Temperatures will dip into the 40s by 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Over the weekend, our high temperatures recover back into the 70s. And next week, we're going to be back to T-shirt weather in no time. Upper 70s to near 80 by the middle of the week.
It's that time of year. Thank you, Kat.
One last thing to talk about. Concert for Carolina. You know, the benefit concert that's raising money for Helene victims? It will be streaming online. How much that costs depends really on where you live. Let's talk about how that works in 2 minutes. One last thing for you tonight. The benefit concert for Western North Carolina is doing something interesting. We're not just talking about the new lineup added this week, the Avett Brothers, Scotty McCreery. Of course, that's pretty cool too, but actually the concert will be live streamed.
Concert for Carolina is sold out. The stream is free for people in the mountains and $25 for everyone else. We were wondering exactly how they did that. How does that work? Let's take a look at the fine print. Geo-targeting technology is being used to ensure that those in affected areas will not be charged. So this kind of, it sent us down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
We love a rabbit hole here at 7 o'clock. So we're going to start with that word geo-targeting. Basically, they take the location of your device and then they make some adjustments. This is sort of the same technology used on gambling apps, right? You can't place a bet when you're in a state that has not legalized it. It's also why you see YouTube ads for Josh Stein and Mark Robinson, not Bob Ferguson and Dave Reichert.
Right.
Then there is the streaming service.
It's called Veeps, no relation to Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I'd never heard of this until this week. It's kind of like Netflix, but it has live concerts. So you pay a subscription and then you stream the concerts. And get this, Veeps was actually founded by the founding members of the band Good Charlotte, Benji and Joel Madden, who launched it in 2018. Another fun fact is Benji Madden is married to Cameron Diaz. What I'm trying to say is that Benji Madden is killing it right now.
You love yourself some Cameron Diaz. Veeps was kind of a thing during the pandemic. In 2020, they hosted 1,000 live streams. A year later, the Madden brothers sold a majority stake to Live Nation. To your point, killing it.
You add it all up, and what do you got? We got a punk rock band launching a tech startup with shades of Netflix and FanDuel streaming a hurricane benefit concert for a group of country artists. It's all actually pretty simple when you think about it.
It's very impressive, and I think, you know, the point at the very beginning of it, the fact that they're not going to be charging folks in the mountains is really great.
Technology working out. What a smart way to do it, huh?
Yeah. Hey, thank you for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL.
We'll see you then. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.